While Modi is roaming around in America, situation in India is not good. India is going down, whether it's the democracy index or it is the media freedom index or it's a human development index. What's happening there? Modi, which talks so big, and he mentioned his chest is pretty big, what chest got to do with media freedom? But we have someone who is willing to talk to us about something terrible is happening, and that is Assam. India is the only country in the world, which has two genocide alert, one on Assam and one on Indian-held Kashmir. And this person is a lawyer, human rights lawyer, who is helping Assamese people in India whose citizenship is stripped, helping them how to survive with that. When a state is against you, what an individual citizen can do. Aman Wadud, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for having me, sir.
Welcome to Muslim Network TV. Tell us why in the world India has this genocide alert about Assam.
Assam has a very peculiar history. Assam borders with Bangladesh, Bhutan in the other side. The part of Bangladesh today was part of the Bangladesh today was part of India actually before 1947. And Bangladesh and Assam were part of the same province for a long period of time, for 7 years of time. During this period of time, actually after 1870s, lots of Bengali Muslim who started migrating to the present-day Assam. By 1930s, the migration kept on going. Right now, people from Bihar, from UP, they go to Bombay. So that was the kind of migration. But then from Bihar to Bombay, the distance is huge, like 2,000 kilometers. But, from the place from where the Muslims came to the present-day Assam, the highest distance would be 500 kilometers, which is like, around 300 miles. So these people who came much before partition of India are today seen as illegal migrants. Not today, but after partition, 20 years after partition, actually, since late 70s, they were mostly regarded as illegal migrants. And since then, the movement is going on, and people have been telling that there are 5 million Muslims, 6 million illegal Bangladeshis in Assam, which is not true. So what Assam has a system of trying citizenships of the Assam border police organizations. Now, border police does not mean that they are stationed at the border. Their presence is there in all police stations across Assam. And the Election Commission of India, they accuse you of being an illegal migrant, quote unquote illegal migrant. And then you'll have to prove your citizenship. Now, how do they prove this? How do they accuse you of being illegal migrant?
They can find anybody on the street and they say, you are illegal migrant. Is that like that?
Almost like that. I have clients, I have fought cases for rickshaw pullers, for daily wage laborers, where in the streets they were picked up and then they were charge sheeted. And then after 4, 5 years, 10 years, they receive notice at their home that you come and prove your citizenship. Now, when you receive this notice, you go before the Foreigners Tribunal and prove your citizenship. How? By showing your document before 1971, 25th March 1971, 1966 document, 1970s document. Now, what does the Foreigners Tribunal does? After the BJP government came to power, they have started stripping citizenship of Indian citizens randomly. Like, for example, there was a person called Abu Bakr Siddiq. His grandfather name was Aper Ali, A-P-E-R. In some document, it was written as A-F-E-R. Now, the tribunal says A-P-E-R and A-F-E-R are not same person. Abu Bakr Siddiq spent 3 years in detention center. A decorated army officer, Sanaullah, whose case I am fighting, he submitted. Now, when he was accused of being illegal migrant, he wasn't in the Indian army. He was stationed in Manipur in 2010, actually. He was accused of being a illegal migrant. And he was stationed in Manipur for a counter-insurgency operation called Hifazat. Now, when he was doing hifazat, security of his country, the Assam Border Police Organization was accusing him of being an illegal migrant. In 2018, he received a notice. He went before the Foreigners Tribunal. Now, he was a JCO, Junior Commissioner Officer. He was stationed in Kashmir for almost 5 years. He served Kupwara, Kargil. The President of India...
How many people are accused like that if they are foreigners?
So till now, the government have declared, the tribunals have declared, since 1985, the tribunal has declared 150,000 people as illegal migrants till now. As foreigners.
So once they declared 150,000 people like that, where did these people go?
Okay, so what the government did, they had a system called pushback. Now they showed that we pushed back some 29,000 people, which is wrong. Since 13/3/2013, the formal process of deportation started. How does deportation happen? Deportation happens when your country of origin accept your, confirm your nationality. Now, when you strip your own citizenship, how will Bangladesh accept you? So since 13/3/2013 till this date, not more than 5 people have been deported to Bangladesh. So you cannot be deported. You are detained in detention center. Detention center started in 2010. The notification came in 2009, but started in 2010. People like Nessa was in detention center for 10 years.
So this is exactly what happened in Burma. That they strip people who were indigenous to that area of their citizenship, except that they cannot go anywhere because they have nothing. So it is somebody seems to be replicating what happened over there. What is this national register of citizenship which is being used against these people?
So in 2009, someone went to the Supreme Court saying that, there should be a national register of citizens, which was actually there in 1951, mainly which was based on the 1950 census. National Citizen Register started in 2015. A judgment of the Supreme Court started it. That judgment justified large-scale illegal migration in Assam, which is not true. Now, what happens in National Register of Citizens, each and every person, even a newborn person, apply for citizenship through application process. Now, you need to submit your any document before 1971 and link yourself to that document. Every citizen of Assam applied for citizenship. The process was extremely harsh. Particularly for Muslims, they had to go to far places for attending hearing. There were objections filed against them, and they went through unimaginable hearing. People committed suicide. People died in accident. After 4 years of long process, stringent process, only, and I say only, 1.9 million people were excluded from the NRC list. And now most of them are not Muslims. Large number of them were Hindus. And that is why the government brought CAA, Citizenship Amendment Act. It says that any person, any non-Muslim actually, except Muslims, anyone who came from Afghanistan, Pakistan, Bangladesh to India after 2014, they are Indian. Their citizenship will be fast-tracked. So basically, the people, the Hindus who were excluded from the list will get citizenship. The Muslims who were excluded from the NRC, whose name are not there in the NRC, they will not get citizenship. They will have to go to the Foreigners Tribunal. Which Foreigners Tribunal? Which did not even acknowledge President Kalam's certificate for Sanaullah, the army officer. Despite submitting that document, despite submitting 26 documents, he was declared a foreigner and detained in detention center. We fought his case. We got him released. His case is going before the High Court now, but we got him released after 10 days of detention. But there are people like Nessa who were there for 10 years. Her husband died in detention. She was not allowed to come before the foreign, out of the detention center. So basically, yeah.
So is there a chance that right now you're saying 150,000 people are in limbo? Their citizenship is stripped from them and no country accepts them because they were citizens of India. Are there chances there will be more people going to get into that same category?
Okay, so this is what, like I said that, the NRC excluded around 4 to 5 lakhs Muslims. Now they will have to go to the Foreigners Tribunal. Now, if the Foreigners Tribunal, which is actually, under a lot of pressure from the government, if they start stripping citizenship based on these minor anomalies, then the number will only increase. Now, the government is not happy with the NRC. Why? Because all this while they have been peddling lies that there are 5 million, 7 million foreigners, which is not true. They want to re-verify the NRC, which means they want to exclude more Muslims. Their target is around 4 or 5 million, which is more than the number of the Rohingyas. I have never been alarmist. A lot of people ask me, do you think there will be genocide in Assam? I said no. But then look at this. They want to exclude 4 or 5 million people from citizenship list. What will they do with these people? No country will accept them because they're citizens of India. They will become stateless. Tell me which country render its own citizens stateless. This is what the BJP government in Assam is going to do. So they are trying to do.
What is the status of this 150,000? How they are living? How they're feeding themselves? Can they hold jobs? What is happening to their lives?
So a lot of people, they are on bail. I am fighting cases before the High Court for them. I have a small organization called Justice and Liberty Initiative. I fight pro bono cases. I don't charge money from them because I feel that they are persecuted by the state and they are extremely poor people. So I represent more than 500 cases. There are many people who have died. There are many people, around 200 people apparently in detention center. A lot of people got released in detention center. We went to the Supreme Court to release, we released around 350 people from detention center after Supreme Court's order last year. And a lot of people are absconding or they are bailed. They got bail from the High Court, but a lot of people are just absconding from the police. They are under fear that the police might detain them anytime. So a lot of people are under fear, a lot of fear.
Are there human rights organizations in India who have taken up that issue? India has a government, what is it called? The Human Rights Commission of India or something like that?
National Human Rights Commission. So the problem is I have always this grievance that the people outside Assam never spoke for us. Even people within the Assam, they don't speak up. The Muslim leadership don't speak up. They think the majority will hate them if they speak up. We started speaking up. We fought a case of Moin al-Mullah in 2016. He was in detention center for 3 years then. We fought his case. We went to the Supreme Court. We won the case. And since then, these cases started getting reported. Today, it is last Sunday issue. It is there in the New York Times. There is a cover story. Last month, there was in the Time magazine. We are trying to tell our story. I believe that if we don't tell our story, no one ever will. We need to tell our story. Very unfortunately, even the people, the mainland Indian, even the Muslims outside Assam never bothered about Assam. Even we never bothered about ourselves. I am the first generation who have started talking about these persecutions, talking about these violations of fundamental right, of the constitutional right that the Constitution of India has guaranteed to us. Now the world is coming to know. Now I am talking to you that, this is what is happening in Assam since last 3-4 decades.
Unfortunately, India kicked out Amnesty International, but there must be, a lot of other human rights organizations. Why have you, in communication with other human rights organizations in India, why they are not willing to take up this cause?
There is a report called Design to Exclude. You can Google Design to Exclude by the Amnesty India. I also contributed there. There is a report by the Human Rights Watch, but this only came in the last 2-3 years when, last 4 or 5 years, people started coming to know when, NRC work started, 4 million people were excluded from the first draft, 1.9 million in the second draft. We started telling our stories. That is when people, started reporting about it. Before that, the narrative was that Assam is infested with illegal migrants. They used to call us illegal migrants. My great-grandfather came in 1870. He migrated like 200 kilometers. 200 kilometers. My grandfather...
He didn't migrate. It was the same area.
It is not migrate, actually, yeah. 1870, even I think Gandhi born in 1869. So then my great-grandfather came to Assam. My grandfather was born in Assam. He went to Hajj. He applied for Hajj in 1947. Very interestingly, the embassy office, the British embassy office then in Calcutta, they stamped his pilgrim pass on 15th August 1947. He could not come because the steamers, the ships were recruited by the Britishers. He came in 1950 to Hajj from Assam. And he came to Palestine, he went to Al-Aqsa. Now my family members are accused of being illegal migrants. My grandfather was born here in 1890, in 1900. He died in 2002. He lived more than 100 years. You know, this is the modus operandi. If you can accuse an army officer, decorated army officer of an illegal migrant, if you can detain him, a person, a veteran, you know, forget about people like Mohammed Nasa, who are, no one cares about them till we tell their story. Forget about people like Moinal Mullah. No one cares about them till we tell his story. He works in a printing press. He earns like $1-2 per day. No one talks about them. There are people dying in detention center. In the last 3 years, 30 people died in detention center. No one talks about it. No one bothers. The mainland India started talking when Indian Home Minister said, understand the chronology, after CA come the NRC. I have this grievance. Why did Indian Muslim outside Assam did not speak for us, did not stand with us? Only when it came unto them, they stand with us. They said that we don't want NRC. You should have protested then when NRC was executed in Assam. What happens in Assam today happens in everywhere tomorrow. We betrayed the Kashmiris. Kashmiri thinks Indian Muslims don't stand with them. I also think as an Assamese Muslim, the Indian Muslims and the Indian diaspora, they betrayed us. I'm sorry to say, but no one stood for us. I understand a part of the guilt is on us that we did not tell our own story, but the responsibility also lies on you. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So if there is injustice going on anywhere, it is threat to justice everywhere. That is what we need to believe.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Aman Wadud. Appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.